energized, realize it feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say I'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 na. Realize it feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say I'll be blown away by the change you see me, and I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. Chico, I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 na. Realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see me, and I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, 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 yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say I'll be blown away by the change you see me, and I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in. realize feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say I'll be blown away, but the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 na. Realize feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say you'll be blown away, but the change you seem in. I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in, every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 na.
Coming to this, we're going to talk about a brand new product that NetApp is actually launching in GA on Friday, which is a couple days from now. Where is the camera in frame and off frame? Where should I?
I'll follow you.
You're going to follow me? Okay. Yeah, except if I turn my back. We're simulcasting this, so just be careful of your questions. You are being recorded, as am I. So I came to NetApp through SolidFire. I joined SolidFire out in Boulder in 2014 in the middle of our C round. And I've been with the product and the team ever since. And we've, as we were in the middle of deciding what to do with the company, because we saw how Pure's IPO went, we knew that it was probably best to sell it. And when we started entertaining companies to sell it to, NetApp was the first company to really go, actually, we want something more than the AFA product you guys build. We want to build an HCI product on top of it. This is in early 16. And I guess it was late 15. So we started working on this then. And it's interesting that it's all of our IP. There's not a single thing licensed in this other than VMware itself that wasn't written by NetApp. So we're really proud of it. We're going to get into the gory details here in a minute. So just kind of phone, but you know what I mean? I have a nanny, right? The nanny will pay for the pizza man when he comes to the door, but she won't use her phone to make a phone call to order pizza. She'll only use an app. She's 19, right? That's the world. That's where we're headed. I travel a ton. I run my life right here. So this is just the way companies are going, and what's hard is they're pushing their experiences out. Still setting the stage a little bit here. This is the chart that we up trying to build yourself away from the traditional data centers into next gen. And really what next gen is, and you've heard this term before, is as a service. Pick the as a services you want, but the idea is a flexible consumption model. Some of you might think cloud. That's an interesting aspect of it, right? Those of you that have dabbled your toes in that space know that some of the advertisements of cloud aren't really there. It's not cheaper. It's cheaper for 2 dudes in a garage. It's not cheaper when you've got 100 people. So you got to be careful what you're getting into when you head towards the cloud. So what you find our customers are doing is taking their core business towards an as-a-service model. The infrastructure as a service is probably easiest. Getting down here is the hardest. And we'll kind of talk about how that stepping points look. Just another way to talk about it, back and then as you got here, it got more about the apps. And now you're getting here, it's actually more about the data. Now think about what has to happen. I mean, pick on, I flew in United Airlines this morning. So think about what United did. They have their ticketing system is on a AS400. They reprice every seat for 11 months out every 7 minutes. Where does that data go? Do you think this app on my phone talks to an AS400? Hell no. No, that data is 7 copies away, at least. And it's fast. They've built an agile system. I actually had the chance to check in for another airline that I won't mention because I'm being recorded. And I couldn't get my check-in to work with all the right authentication. It's like, wow, I didn't realize that United actually did a lot of work to make that happen. And then it turns out on the wire that they'd had an outage that day, the other airline. So it really is about how you're dealing with your data. And infrastructure just becomes something that's a necessary evil. I use that term on purpose. Those of us that have dealt with infrastructure, it's not really simple. So we wanted to build something to make it simple. A couple more data points. I apologize for the word legacy. HCI products aren't legacy. Pictures on my laptop that I got today of the back end of these systems. I always like to say, and I'm an old infrastructure goon, if you look at the way something's cabled, you can figure out how complicated it is. Just go to the back of the rack and look. I see some smiles back there. You know what I'm talking about, right? And I have a picture of the back of a Nutanix system and a picture of the back of ours. And it's like, well, wow, those are radically different things. So we wanted to be able to solve for these. And I think the most important one here that's not super obvious, because it kind of was a big stamp over all of it, was just a predictable delivery. It's simple to use. The features work. You don't have to learn how to manage it through a new interface. You just do it through VMware. And the product actually does what it says it's going to do when you ask it to do it, even under load. So these simple way to say making your data stateless. You can move it around. You can have it live in different places and have rules for why it lives in those different places. And I mean physical different places and infrastructure. So we were going to get on the NetApp fabric, and we were going to develop on these three constructs. So capacity, do I have the DRAM? And if you don't, we have a super simple way to attach 2 Ethernet cables and rack a new system, and it'll grow to it. So that's part of what we wanted to build. We wanted it to be simple. So we have this concept of minimum maximum burst, and this is something you could have seen inside of VMware. We actually implemented it all the way through the data path, so that even under duress, these systems, when their CPUs are pegged, can deliver minimum and maximum quality of service settings. So you can take something like a database that needs to have a given minimum workload to actually process the transactions you want, and no matter what goes on in that system, we will actually slow down other traffic to deliver those minimums. So it's meant to be an extremely predictable performance metric. And what you get there, even though I said performance, is density. You can jam a sick amount of infrastructure onto one of these things. And a simple example would be EUC or VDI. You used to take VDI and isolate it onto a system because you don't really know what it's going to do. Sometimes it'll spike, sometimes it'll be flat. Well, between dedupe compression and the horsepower of these systems, you're going to use, let's say you put 60,000 desktops on an HCI system. You're going to use about 30% of the CPU, you're going to use about 20% of the DRAM, and you're going to use about a 50th of the storage. Maybe a 48th. So you're using nothing. Why leave it alone? With something like this, you can SQL statement that actually buried some of the systems, the storage specifically, and the rest of the users paid a really, really heavy price. Literally, with the infrastructure we put inside of HCI, you have a bar graph where you can just chart things. And we've already laid it out for a maximum performance on the array. We're just implementing quality of service inside the data path. So you can actually say, hey, I want this given app to get way more performance than I originally configured it for. And you don't relay it out. You don't move it around. You don't wait a day. It happens right then. It's in the data path. The next IOP gets the different data path settings. So it's just a very, very different way to get this done, where most people do it through quotas and metering and at a minimum, watermarks. You don't have to future-proof your investments. One of the big challenges in IT, especially, today? Well, no. When do you think you're going to need it? Well, 18 months from now. Well, guess what happens in 18 months? They didn't need it. And now you've got this thing, you've purchased an island for them. So what we've done is we've built a system that's scalable. I'll show you what the actual boxes look like, but you can actually intermix. They come in small, medium, and large, small storage, small compute, medium storage, medium compute, and large and such. And you can interchange them. Plus, you can grow them on the fly. Let's say, for example, this was Minneapolis, New Jersey, Phoenix. It was all going to be in Phoenix. How many vendors out there have even licensing agreements that won't let you change zip code of their gear? I can name a couple of three-letter companies that do, well, four-letter companies. So NetApp doesn't. Our licenses are perpetual. The products are meant to be movable. You can literally eject these nodes, put them back in the proper shipping containers, FedEx them to this location. You don't even have to do it at a system level. You'll see in a minute that there's actually 4 bays inside of each one of these systems. You can actually move the bays. So it's a very, very flexible. Minimum config. You've got 4 storage nodes, you've got 2 compute nodes, and you've got 2 open slots. These are 2U systems with 4 bays, so you've got 8 bays, so 8 node slots. And you can grow them as you please. So in this example, I added compute. Hang on. I added more compute. You can see here I'm increasing my DRAM and memory. One node, so technically each of I'll pick a VDI example. One of our largest customers, I can't name, that runs VDI on the system has over 120,000 VDI desktops on one 6-node system. It's a lot. It's a lot. So they can be super dense. I should do a time check. We're good. So one of the So you use APIs. Well, this is an example of, this is not the HCI solution we built. This is another, this is a competitive product out there in the market today that think about that. Is that simple? Is that flexible? Is that automatable? Would you want to be the cloud architect guy, girl, and then have to manage storage that does this? You don't. You don't. You want to do something like this. And you can actually capture it because you can just cut and paste it right out of the interface. When you do this, you have the option. No one wants to touch this stuff. We're bringing you an interface, whether you want to do it through API calls, you want to do it through VMware, where you do not have to touch the HCI. And that's the whole idea. I would just say the big challenge we have when it comes to API, don't fall for the checkbox. Don't fall for the vendor that says, sure, we can check the box for API. Look at it. Ask them for their manual. Ask them how much code it takes to get something done, how many lines. And you get an idea just whether they're serious about it, whether they're checking a box. 'Cause and are prepared to deploy on top of HCI. So when you turn on HCI, you have the option to actually put a filer on it. I don't think you're going to get the same kind of performance you're going to get out of an A700, which is one of our larger all-flash systems, but you're going to be able to turn on file services if you choose, right on top of HCI and get every feature that ONTAP has. So we're really happy we got that qualified and done. So here's a picture of it, just to give. Oh, it says right there, this is a compute node, that's a compute node, and these two are storage. And it just gives you the flexibility to grab these little sleeves and unrack them and rack them and grow as you please. If you decide that you've got too much compute in one of these and you want to move it, you literally just tell the software to eject it, you walk over here, you yank it, and you move it to a different one. Or you can just stack them up and have one big, huge cluster. So it's a very +100 inputs, from doing the installation of the storage layer to actually registering everything and doing the phone home and turning on vCenter. And it says 45 minutes. It really depends on which system you have. But in anywhere from 25 minutes to an hour, we can actually go from pressing the on button to having a complete HCI system stood up. So I was going to talk over this, but the audio is going to come through. So
My name is Troy Mangum, and I want to introduce you to NetApp.
What we wanted to have there was, kind of a brainless install. So obviously when you go through the racking and the cabling and put it in place and putting the first layer of software down, we wanted it to, who wants to go get a PhD in how to install vCenter against a fully integrated plugin for, NetApp SolidFire? Why? Why not just get asked, 40 or 32 questions and then deploy yourself? And the same thing goes when you rack a nodes. I know that we're not looking at the back of it right now, but let's just say you wanted to expand the compute layer. You need some more DRAM, a little more processing power. You literally just order that from us and you rack it. And when you rack it, this system adds it. And then all of a sudden you have all the extra resources available to use. Same thing goes from storage. We don't relay anything back out. It's just you rack it and the system understands what it's got to go deal with. It's just a simple way to get away from islands and to get away from the complexity that's out there today. I talked about this just a minute ago. And we're getting towards the end of the deck. functionality that NetApp has and actually snap data from the HCI products into your other NetApp system. So this would be, let me animate this out. There's an example here. So we're talking about taking that is, in a short window, what NetApp built for HCI. And I have, wow, I hit it by, I have 1 minute short. It is, it's all owned by NetApp. Anything you guys want me to talk about that I didn't? I've got a couple of the sales teams, local sales teams up here in the front. All right. Well, we're excited about it. If you guys want to see it, it'll be up. We take over the entire web page Friday morning. There'll be tons of links and tons of literature. We've got best practice papers for everything from MongoDB to Oracle to, wow, I just went blank. Cassandra, all of those things you might want to run up in a virtualized world. We'll have all that stuff out on Friday too. We've been working on it for a long time. All right, so I would say if you're running Nutanix today, if you're looking at Nutanix, it would be well worth putting a pause on that for 48 hours to take a peek at this. It's extremely competitive priced, and it's meant to go nose to nose with that product stack. All right, thanks for coming. My name's Rob.
Energize, realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 na. Realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying. No, 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 no. And I can say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me, and I feel alright. Dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do. Yeah, I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 na. Realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me, and I feel alright. Dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying. No, 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 no. And I can say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me, and I feel alright. Dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do. Yeah, I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in. energize, realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say I'll be blown away, but the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do. Yeah, I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. Chico, I put the good stuff in. I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in. I wanna put the good stuff in. I put the good stuff in. Na 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 realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me, and I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in, every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 na. Realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me, and I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me, and I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. realize feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see in me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say I'll be blown away by the change you see in me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 na. Realize feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see in me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me, and I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in, every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 realize it feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I can spend it on you, you can spend it on me. I can say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me, and I feel alright. Dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in every day. energize, realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say I'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. Chico, I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me, and I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in, every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. Chico, I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 na. Realize it feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I can spend it on you, you can spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me, and I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me, and I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in. time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say I'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 na. Realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no. energized, realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 na. Realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me, and I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in, every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 realize it feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I can spend it on you, you can spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me, and I feel alright. Dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, 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 yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, 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 yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me, and I feel alright. Dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in. is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see in me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say I'll be blown away by the change you see in me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see in me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no. energized, realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say I'll be blown away, but the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. Chico, I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away, but the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying. No, 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 no. And I can say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do. Yeah, I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I wanna put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, na 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 na. Realize it feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying. No, 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 no. And I can say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do. Yeah, I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in. my time is free. I could spend it on you, you could spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see in me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no, 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 no. And I can say you'll be blown away by the change you see in me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in, yes I do, yeah. I put the good stuff in every day, every day, every day. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I put the good stuff in, yeah, yeah.
And if there's any questions about anything across the entire stack, feel free to let me know. We can. I'm going to try to get into a cluster. I had planned on using my laptop, but besides the fact, I'm sure we'll figure it out. So, with that said, I'm Shane Weinbrett. I'm a senior systems engineer for Scale. We have Mike Irwin and Dan Brower. They're a couple. Mike's a director, and Dan here is the sales guy for this particular territory that I work directly with. So, a little bit of what we're going to cover. You know, what is hyperconverged infrastructure? At any point in time, you can interrupt me. I have no problems with that. So jumping into it, hyperconvergence, it's a combination. Meaning that if there's any issues with anything from the software layer down through the hardware, you call us directly 100%. There's no other vendors to call. It's all of us. So that's pretty interesting. You have to press that. So when I say I want to create a VM that has an 80 gig system drive, 100 gig data drive, I just specify that amount of space, hit the create button. I don't have to do anything else. I don't have to, map to an iSCSI target, then put a, map to a LUN behind that. I don't have to, go to an NFS share. On the other side of that, I don't have to do any multipathing configurations or anything to that effect. So it's a very streamlined process, very efficient as well. Why storage? What's at like a RAID type level, where you have RAID 6 or RAID 10 or RAID 5 or something like that protecting your data. Ideally, you'd want, in a perfect world, you'd have two SANs that's replicating everything. So if a SAN went completely down, you have that standby SAN. The cost involved in that is extremely high. The drive failures, those are things that can be replaced, but depending on that, they if it goes down, you're going to have some type of outage. You're going to have some type of performance-related issues. Generally speaking, environments grow. You're going to go paperless. You're going to start archiving more things. You're going to bring on a new application that's going to take up X amount of storage, whether it's a database, or ERP system, or line of business app, whatever it may be. So what you want to be able to do is scale out and use functions like deduplication to absorb that unexpected growth. Here's just a little bit about storage management, LUNs. Are familiar with storage in general in the group by raise of hands? Pretty good idea of what a LUN. Well, oops, go back a step. So what we're going to illustrate here is a VSA-based I/O path. So VSA is a virtual storage appliance. Is everyone in the room familiar with the VSA type model? Okay, so a virtual storage appliance, it's a virtual machine that's running on a hyperconverged platform. Again, no reason to throw out vendor names that use VSAs. But what happened, what that looks like from a architectural pretty straightforward? Yeah? Back up here. Wow. Vendor X will have, insert name, right? When you stand at the file system, then you create some type of object store, whether it's iSCSI LUN and FS share. The object store on top of a file system, on top of an object store, on top of a file system. Several different layers. What we've done is Scribe is our storage subsystem. Stands for Scale Computing Reliable Independent Block Engine. On surviving nodes, all the data is still striped over there. No storage configuration, it's a block device. Like I said before, it runs in user space. We don't have to create iSCSI targets and LUNs. We don't have to stand up a file system. We don't have to make any extra connections to said storage subsystem. It's one pool of storage. When you get a 3-node cluster, we don't have a one-size-fits-all type environment. What we do is how we size our solution is based off your current environment, whether it's or by running a workload analysis tool. Based off that, we'll kind of put some options together, and then say, okay, well, your I/O disk utilization, maybe you just need spinning disk. Maybe you need some SSD, so we'll do hybrid. Maybe your I/O is just 100,000 apps per second, throwing out arbitrary numbers. That's probably better suited for an all-flash. We don't use a VSA. Again, there's no extra pieces in the data path. And different levels of magnitude, which is pretty cool. But this is Scribe. Take a second to soak that in. Which is a layer 2 isolated network that's used for, as I mentioned before, all those striping and mirroring processes is done across the layer 2 isolated backplane. So there's never any I/O contingencies between what's happening on the backplane as opposed to what's going on in your LAN or data access network. That's a good question. I've seen, it's going to, it's also going to be an it depends type question. It depends on, are we talking on a single node or across the cluster? I've seen multiple drives on a single node fail and have full functionality. There could be some redundancy issues due to the fact that that extra mirrored copy, if that mirror is on another drive, that fails as well. So, that could come in play. But it really kind of it depends type question. If you have 12 drives in a 3-node cluster and you lose 6 of them, that's probably not a good day. The chances of that happening is very, very slim. We have a part of our product, or a piece of technology we've integrated into the product, is called state machines. And a state machine, if you've never heard of a state machine before, I can guarantee you that you've experienced one in your day-to-day life. You have a car, you've been on a plane, used a washing machine, etc. In a car, for example, you have a state machine that's monitoring your tire pressure, right? Your tire pressure gets low, light comes on the dashboard, to fill up your air, or get the nail out, put some air in the tire. We've incorporated state machine technologies on each one of the nodes in the cluster, and then we made those state machines cluster aware, and then assigned about 1,000 different conditions to each one of those state machines. Things like retransmits on the backplane, smart error rates on drives, for example. So if we detect a drive going south, then we'll go ahead and pull that out of service, issue you an alert via email that says drive 0 node 1 has been pulled out of service, or something to that effect. You give us a call, we send a new drive to you next business day, you pop out the old one, put the new one in, you're back up and running. So we really won't allow you, it'd have to be something really catastrophic, honestly, would have to happen in order for multiple drives to fail, because we're looking at all that stuff all the time, in real time, and we report on it in real time. So if something was going bad, you'd know about it very quickly. There's always 4 drives per node. Yeah, 4 drives per node. Whether that's 4 spinning disk, or in our hybrid nodes we have 3 spinning disk and 1 SSD. So we do have systems that have 8 drives. We have a 12 drive system. So it's just really it kind of goes back to your current environment and how we size you, and your growth projection and things of that nature. And we also grow with you. So as you grow from a data perspective, or CPU, RAM, and data, you can add additional nodes, whether it's a storage-only node or compute RAM and storage. What was that first part? I'm sorry. Yeah. They could either or. We have all flash, so we could sell an all flash 4-node or 4-drive system, four drives per node system.
So you have like a 100 terabyte, you got to have a lot of nodes to get to 100 terabyte?
Well, we have our quote-unquote mothership is the 5150 line. No Van Halen reference intended there. But the 5150s, we can get, in a 3-node cluster, get close to about 100 terabytes, with 3 nodes. So that's going to have 9 spinning disk and 3 SSD.
What is the advantage for using a very small number of drives compared with habits and security? They have like a 20, 30 drive per node.
Sure, yeah. And I guess a good way to answer that question is we go after different markets. Honestly, we focus on the SMB market, the small, medium business. Not to say that SimpliVity and Nutanix don't have SMB customers. They do. I know they do. But generally speaking, they are more upstream than we are. We have more of a laser focus on that particular market. So we know the customer size. We have a good idea of their data footprints and things of that nature. We don't like to sell solutions that are way overkill. If you have 10 terabytes and your projected growth is maybe 5 in the next 3 or 4 years, I'm not going to put together a 30 terabyte solution. It's just everything is built to order, and as I said before, we grow with you. So if you need if you have 10 terabytes and you expect 5 terabytes growth, we'll put you in a 15 terabyte solution. 2 years down the road, 3 years, or you grow by acquisition or whatever may happen, a new project goes online. If you need additional resources, we can add them on the fly without any disruption or downtime. Yeah, that's all created. That's all controlled with our software intelligence. Well, it's basically what I like to say is it's RAID 10 on steroids. So all data being striped and mirrored. The technical term or the internal or the scale term is intercluster mirroring and wide striping. So like I said, I mentioned before, all blocks of data written to say a drive is going to have active mirror copies across the cluster. So we're going to always have 2 copies of data. So it's RAID 10, but managed by our software intelligence.
And there's no choice.
Yeah, there's no like you can't go and say I want a RAID 5 stripe set or RAID 5 stripe set out of these 3 drives. Okay.
So it is software rate, not a hardware rate from the hardware rate control.
There's no controllers at all, no. That's correct. Good? Cool. So this is kind of illustrating a node. It's part of spinning disk, whether it's AND flash or wall flash, whatever it may be. So every VM has access to the tier, and you can do it by controlling you control it by actually going to the virtual machine and seeing the list of virtual disks that you have assigned to that. You can edit that particular virtual disk in real time at any point in the day and choose the level of magnitude. We go from 1 to 11. We like to turn things to 11 at scale. By pinning the disk to 11 will tell us that every single block of data will always be on SSD for that particular drive. So say you have a database server, you have an OS drive, you have a log drive, you have a tempDB drive, and you have your actual database drive. You'll probably put your log files to 6, 8, 10 maybe, and your database drive to 11 because you want most of those blocks on SSD. Everything else could be set to 0 or 1, depending on what you want to do. And those blocks will be, some of them will be on SSD and the others will be destaged to cold or spinning disk. So fancy animations there. No, I'll just pull up a web browser. Just is it the actual IP or is it the?
Yeah. Or you just choose one.
Okay. Visit 10.100.142.90.
100.
That's not working.
Get your VPN, and you should be right here.
Shouldn't have to. This is the SSD one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's Bowers.
242.90. Could be. Any questions while we're waiting on this? I'm not sure if the internet's slow or if I'm not going to be able to connect into this cluster. So.
Did you scale really up regarding like compression, duplication, backup, replication?
Yeah, so part of the feature set is we have built-in post-process deduplication. We have guest level replication, the ability to create snapshot schedules. Our scheduling or our snapshot mechanism as well as replication is called allocate on write, where we're only doing block level differentials, kind of like thin snapping. Other companies use a method called copy on write. The problem with that particular type of snapshotting is that the VMs or the snapshots grow over time. They can become unmanageable. It could be very problematic. It could cause issues. Thin snapshotting allows us to take up to 4,096 snapshots per VM. I don't know if anyone ever needed that many snapshots, but if you wanted to, you could. Each snapshot are independent, and we're just doing block level differentials. So say you have a snapshot that you create a schedule that you want to take a snapshot of a VM every hour, keep that for a day. Then you want to do it weekly or daily and keep it for a week. Weekly, keep it for a month. So you can have that grandfather, father, son type configuration. And each one of those are 100% usable. If you needed to revert back, you simply clone that snapshot and you have that VM from that point in time.
So you call it a snapshot, not a backup. What do you make a backup?
Well, backup products work with our platform. So depending on what you use today, if you use Acronis, StorageCraft, Symantec, Insert, X, Veeam will work with us at the agent level at this point in time. That's something that we're working on down the road to have a host level.
Have a built-in backup.
Do we have a built-in backup?
Yeah.
I would say we have backup functionality. I never say snapshots are backups, right? But if you can build a schedule that works for your business, like I said, hourlies, dailies, weeklies, and if you don't restore files very often, I think it works out really well. Some of our customers use that type of fashion because what you can do is you have your snapshots, then you can set up a replication job to another scale cluster or a single node. Some of our customers use a single node solution for a backup target or a DR target. So, and the thing about backups is that unless they're off-site, off the local device, it's not a backup because if it's local, then that really isn't helping you out. That's just another copy of your data sitting there. Getting it off-site is where it makes it valuable. So you set up guest level replication with a VM that has a schedule assigned to it. That schedule follows the replication job. So if you replicate the VM over to your secondary cluster or a single node solution, you could then go and use that twofold. One, it could be your restore point for the actual file level recovery, or it could be a restore point from a catastrophic failure, meaning you're failing over your VM in a DR scenario. We good? Boom, okay. Oh, it's not on the screen. Okay, this will be interesting. Is there a way to mirror this on a Mac? Oh, it's not. That's a window. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, this should be. Huh. Okay. We'll just use that for an example. Go to edit that, and you know, we default at 4, and I generally speaking would recommend turning down flash priority to probably 1 on OS drives, and then, you know, with your databases or your line of business apps, kind of do some benchmarking. You might turn it up to 5, or maybe 4 is sufficient. Might turn it up to 5, do some benchmarking, maybe 6, 7, 8, just kind of go up the ladder a little bit. But what happens are seen as hot, and those hot blocks will always be on SSD, and then we'll destage cold blocks onto spinning disk. Well, I guess, I mean, since it's pretty much at the end here, do you guys have any other questions?
So this based on KVM.
That's right.
We don't have to pay for the software.
Correct, yeah. There's no licensing cost whatsoever. That goes for future releases as well. So, you know, when we release a feature, you know, dedupe was something that we put into our latest firmware revision. And that was simply our customers that updated the firmware to that version got dedupe, period. When we release new features, we just put them into the update package, and you update the cluster, and you have the feature. And we have rolling updates, so there's never downtime during the update process. So.
Disaster recovery between the 2 data centers.
What's that?
Disaster recovery
Yeah.
between the 2 data centers.
Okay.
What there's built-in software for disaster recovery?
It's built-in guest level replication. So, am I allowed to go a little bit over, or? Oh, okay, okay. Do you want to come by the booth and talk a little bit more? Yeah, I'd love to stand up here and, you know, go. Yeah, I have multiple clusters on my laptop upstairs, so, I'm connected to multiple clusters. So, thank you, everyone. Appreciate the time. If you have any other questions, come by our booth, number 13.